What?
A water spit. Where you kind of like mist water out of your mouth.
You don't see that very often.
Trying to do a grand entrance, you know?
Okay.
You see a water spit.
You could probably light yourself on fire.
I could have done that. I think Haley would have frowned upon it.
It's easier than you think it is.
To light yourself on fire?
Yeah.
There's never a good time to light yourself on fire.
And I think with that, welcome to Staring at Podcast, Staring at Hot Wheels. My name is Seth.
I'm Adam.
And my name is Seth.
So last week or last podcast, I told all you guys that our next guest would be Aaron Davis. I lied. Aaron could not make it this week just because of
Obligation.
Actually, yeah, it's none of your guys' business. Yeah, get off our backs. So instead, filling in on short notice,
My father.
Seth's dad, everyone.
Yeah! That's what I'm talking about. So, hi, I'm Jim.
Yeah, this
Gamble.
is Jim Gamble.
Still, you guys still have the best last name that I know of.
Gamble is a pretty sick last
It's
name.
really cool in Vegas.
Yeah.
Because they don't know if you're kidding or if you're serious.
You get like street cred.
I think so. A little bit. So why couldn't Aaron make it?
We'll tell you after.
Don't worry about it.
Oh, okay.
Because he couldn't, and we
All
still
right.
love
I
him.
don't want to say it on the mic, you know?
You guys out there decide for yourself what you think Aaron had going on.
He's gonna come on in the future,
Yeah,
and everyone's just gonna
very
hate him
soon.
already.
He'll probably explain it then. But
Nah.
for now,
Probably not. Maybe.
hey,
knows?
thanks for having me, guys.
Hey,
Aaron,
we're
we love
happy
you.
to have you.
We
Yeah.
love you, Aaron.
Aaron, we miss you.
I really miss you. Actually, I see him every day.
You just saw him.
To put into perspective how great Aaron is, he's my boss, and I still miss him, and I see him every day. Anyways,
So
quick,
for you guys out there, we're in a home studio, and this thing is dope, I guess. Is that the right word? Dope? I mean, this thing is... This is amazing. We've got computer screens. We've got microphones. Got some other miscellaneous... we got guitars. I'll tell you.
There's a bass, a banjo. There's a drum set behind you.
This must be what it's like to be on MTV. I'm pretty sure. So I'm honored, and I'm ready to participate in something fun, something
All right.
real,
all right.
something that's gonna make us all famous.
On that note, I have a question for you
Yeah.
guys. Do you guys want to do a
Oh, wait, hold
What?
on. Hold on. I need to explain to him what this is.
He's listened to the
I
podcast,
don't
right?
think he has.
No.
I've not had time, but I will.
So every podcast we do this thing called 10-minute one shot. Adam sets a timer, and we create a character on the fly, no thinking about it, and we just play out a scene, imaginary.
We all have a character.
You and I have a character. He DMs it. He's the master.
Gotcha. What kind of character?
I'm the master.
Anything you want.
Pertaining to a theme, ish, kind of.
Okay.
It's kind of like improv. Think of it like
Sure.
improv. Improvisation.
Let's give it a shot. I'm excited to be a
All right.
part of this.
Timer. All right, setting a timer for 10 minutes.
It's 10 minutes on the nose.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's part of it.
Okay.
Okay, I need like 10 seconds to think.
Do we do a voice, or is it?
You can do whatever you want to.
Voice, yeah.
Okay. I don't know if I have a voice, but
Do whatever you want. Have fun with it. You got your Pac Arrow hat on. I mean, you look like you're having fun.
well,
You wore your shoes inside, but I'm not gonna say anything about it.
Oh man, I forgot.
All right, you guys ready?
Yeah.
I think so.
3, 2, 1. All right, so the name of this one shot is a symbolic relationship between a father and a son.
I'm gonna play the father.
I would hope so. Yeah. So, Jim, your character is, the father of Seth's character. What is your character's name and like race? Like think like Lord of the Rings, like elf, dwarf, human.
Oh boy, you're putting
type of.
Do I have to go that route? Can you help me out there? Because I'm not that familiar.
You can be a human if you want. You can just be
human.
like.
Okay, I'm gonna go with Johnny Utah.
Okay.
All right, Johnny Utah the human. Seth, what is Johnny the Utah's son's name?
Matthew Utah.
Matthew Utah. All right. So Johnny, you your son is still living at home with you. And he's not the age that Seth is. He's like 35 and it's time. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'll say.
Like he's got to go, but you got to effectively, like, and your wife is fed up as well, like whoever your wife is. Your wife is fed up as well.
That's
but,
Martha
like,
Utah.
Martha Utah. Okay. Martha's fed up. John what was it?
Johnny.
Johnny. Martha is fed up. So your son has to go. He's mooching off you. He won't like hold down a job. But like you have to do this in a way that doesn't like ruin your relationship or like put your relation or strain your relationship. Because when it all comes down to it, he's still your son, right?
Okay.
Okay. So, Matthew, Utah, you are in the basement of your father's cabin.
Yeah.
And Johnny, you approach the door to the basement. What do you do?
Maddie.
What, Dad?
Maddie.
What?
What are you doing?
I'm whittling.
Whittling your wood?
Yeah, I'm whittling my. You can see I'm making a duck.
He can't. The door is closed.
No. Open the door. Open the.
Hello.
I open the door.
Okay.
Maddie, we need to talk.
Come on in.
Thanks.
It's his house.
You know, you need to get a job.
I got a job.
What's your job?
I'm selling the wood I whittle.
How much money you make?
Well, not much.
Gee, I know. So here's the deal. You're what now? 35 years old?
35, yeah.
And
You were there on the day of my birth.
Yeah. And you're living in our basement.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, graciously.
Why are you living in our basement at 35 years old?
Because you guys are fantastic parents.
Yes, we are. But in order for you to lead a normal life, you need to move out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
No, I mean, like now. Pack your stuff.
What?
Your mom and I love you. Martha and I love you. But it's time for you to go. It's time to spread your tiny wings and fly away.
I always hate when you sing.
All right, Johnny. So at this point, you've said like your first like splurb of words, right? I'm gonna have you roll a persuasion roll, and based on that, I have a number in my head that I want you to beat. Okay, so you kind of came on strong. I would say that Matthew is just kind of feeling like attacked right now. Matthew, please proceed accordingly.
It seems like you're throwing some like hostile energy my way, and I don't really appreciate that. It kind of ruins the vibe in here, you know?
Are you feeling that? Because I laid it on pretty heavy.
Yeah, I'm kind of feeling it, and
And it's not funny.
It's really killing the vibe in here, and you're like at an 8. I need you to drop it down to like 4.
I'm about like an 8 right now. You don't want to hear me go to a 10, all right?
I don't. That's what I'm saying. Drop it to a 4. Let's see how we can work this out as adults, you know?
Okay. How do you think we should proceed?
How about this? Where are you working nowadays? I can't remember.
At the White House.
Yeah, there's a White House down the road that has like they need like yard work done and stuff.
Can you get me a job at the White House?
Yes.
Perfect. See, we're working on something.
Can you trim a bush?
I can trim a bush.
Okay. You're in.
Okay, perfect.
So here's what's gonna happen, right? You're gonna work at the White House.
White horse?
White House.
Okay.
White House.
Okay.
And then you're gonna take that money and you're gonna rent yourself an apartment.
Yeah. But that might take a bit because, you know, it takes a while to get money. Like, it takes 2 weeks for you to get your paycheck.
I'm gonna give you about $20. I want you to go out and find something.
Okay.
And then you use that as a down payment.
Okay. I can do that.
Okay.
Okay. I'm glad we worked this out. See, isn't it awesome how we were able to talk it out like adults?
Yeah, that's great. Now, when are you out?
As soon as I find a place. You got $20 in my hand right now. I'll go find something.
Got a little change in your pocket. Going
It's going
jing-a-ling-a-ling.
jing-a-ling.
Yes.
Yeah.
So as that's happening, you guys hear like a knock at the door. Oh, thank you, Jim. And the door opens up, and the guy walks inside because it's the Middle Ages, and people just do that. And there's like a half-orc guy standing at the top of the stairs. He goes, "Johnny, it's Curtis, your boss at the White House. I'm actually a psychic, and I heard that you told your son that you'd give him a job, and like that's fine with me, but like I need to know that he can trim a bush first before we proceed here."
Kurt, I've watched my son grow and turn into a young man, and I can tell you, he can trim a bush.
Can you roll me another persuasion roll?
I'd say it's not 20.
It did not look like a 20.
It looked like it was on the eye.
Okay. I think I'm inclined to believe you, Johnny. But I still think I want to see him trim a bush. Like, Matthew, can you come outside real quick? I gotta.
You got some hedge trimmers?
Yeah, I got some hedge. I got some
Yeah.
hedge trimmers. Let's step
do it.
outside real quick. Okay, so there's a bush in your guys' front yard, and it's like a little bit. It's not like super overgrown, but like it needs some good trimming. Can you roll me a performance check, Matthew?
13.
Yeah, you trim a decent bush, and so
What did my dad tell you?
I didn't believe your dad. I'm just saying. So yeah, you got yourself a job. Can you start tomorrow?
I can start tomorrow, sure.
Absolutely.
Now,
Thank you.
let me ask you something.
Okay, gotcha.
What's the break policy like?
You get an hour lunch.
Okay.
At halfway through the day, and it's a 10-hour day. And then, like, if you're tired, you can sit down for a few minutes here and there.
Okay.
A few minutes here and there.
Yeah.
Not a half hour at a time.
Yeah, not a half hour. Maybe 10 at the most.
You know, I can whittle in 5 minutes.
Cool. Sounds good.
Perfect.
All right. And so with that, Johnny, Matthew, you guys feel like you reach common ground as father and son. Matthew, soon you're going to have a brand spanking new job, new apartment. You're going to fully live the bachelor life, you know?
Yeah.
And Johnny, like, your wife is going to come home and you're not going to get like a massive earful from her. And so you've avoided just
you
a
can
whole...
call me John.
I'm this John. You have avoided like just a long night, my friend. You don't have to sleep on the couch tonight. So congratulations, you two.
I appreciate it, Kurt. Thank you.
Wasn't Kurt talking?
That was just Adam talking.
That was just me talking.
Kurt.
Kurt just starts monologuing.
That was interesting. That was interesting. I've never done that before. And
Yeah, so
I wasn't drawing on experience because, in actuality, Seth was a really good kid and he moved out when he's supposed to move out.
Well, I moved out one time, and I moved back in. And then I moved out again.
Something about COVID or something like that. I'm not sure. But
Yeah. Anyways, our next segment that we have is one of my favorite segments. And one that you're going to roll your eyes at, I have a feeling.
oh boy.
It's the Hot Wheel of the Week. The Hot Wheel of the Week this week is a 70 why can't I say that word? Plymouth Barracuda.
Plymouth Barracuda?
70 Plymouth Barracuda.
It's a nice red color. It's got some nice orange accents and stuff.
What year is it?
1970.
So I got to tell you guys a story.
Okay.
So growing up, my parents bought cars every about a year or a year and a half. And
Your dad was a mechanic.
He was, and they were never new cars, right? They were used cars. But at one point, we had a Barracuda, and I don't know if it was 70, but it was in the 70s.
Was it convertible?
It was not a convertible,
Okay.
but it was red, just like that one, and it was pretty cool, and it was fast.
Yeah, this is out of the.
When my dad drove it, when my mom drove it, wasn't so fast.
This is out of the HW Roadsters pack. It's number 3 out of 5.
Okay.
There's only 5.
Out of the Roadster line, but yes.
Do you have the other 4?
I don't have the other 4. I haven't been able to find them yet. But this one I looked up on eBay before the podcast episode. This one sells now. I bought it for $1. It sells now for $15.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
How long has it been out?
I think 2022.
Okay.
Came out.
They go up in price that fast?
Yeah. Oh, so fast. Especially the ones that are real cars. That's why I only buy the real car ones.
What makes like a Hot Wheel shoot up in price?
Rarity and if it's a real car or not.
Oh, okay. Do they like purposely like release some in smaller batches?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, at work I have a whole line of 5 that were out of a Japanese street car sort of feel.
JDM stuff.
And they have the special packaging where it shows the car and then it's got the Hot Wheel logo and there's cherry blossoms behind it. And the whole set now, if they're all in package and everything, it sells for $80. And I bought it for $5 originally.
That's what's up.
So if you did 100,000 of those, you'd be a millionaire.
I'd be a gajillionaire. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. I looked it up at one point. My whole collection at this point, probably if I were to sell it top dollar, probably could sell for about $7,000, $7 or $8,000.
Yeah.
So I kind of had an idea that I want to start doing.
What's that?
Just one question that we can start off with each guest is what their dream car is if they have one.
Yeah.
So Jim,
my dream car, or
do you have a dream car?
Are these cars that I've had in the past, or
Just
could be anything?
It could be what would, or any car that you would ever.
It's not going to be that silly EV truck that I've seen driving around.
Which
No.
one?
Like a Rivian?
The
one
Cybertruck?
the one that looks like it's a
pyramid?
yeah.
That's a
I think
That's a Cybertruck.
The Tesla Cybertruck?
Yeah, those aren't cool.
They're falling apart, dude.
Yeah.
You can't even take them through a car wash without putting it into a special mode.
I know. I got to be honest with you guys, the cars from the 60s,
Okay.
the true muscle cars, those are the coolest, right?
Adam agrees with you on that.
I don't know that you can take a car from the 90s and make it a muscle car. It would never be that, right? There's some cool cars, some cool Corvettes. I mean, obviously a Ferrari or a Maserati or Lamborghini would be cool. But the true muscle cars I think are the thing.
If you had to narrow it down to one though.
I would probably
you get it right now in peak condition.
Peak condition. I would do a 68 Camaro.
Okay, those are cool.
Yeah, those are cool.
That'd be a cool car. Now, back in my day, I owned a 73 Pontiac Ventura.
Okay.
It's probably not on anybody's list, but that thing was pretty cool. White hardtop, blue car, white leather interior, and it was sweet. Of course, I sold it, which was probably one of the dumbest things I've done. But anyway, yeah.
Cool.
How about you guys? What do
we
you
shared it last week. But
Well, yeah, I said last week. You ever seen a K truck before?
A K truck?
KEI.
No.
It's a little like right hand drive, like Japanese work truck.
Oh, okay, I have a picture in my head.
Yeah,
I'm
I'll
pulling
pull.
up. I'm pulling up when I got you.
And why that one?
Because like
Oh, okay. Yeah.
it's save on gas and stuff, and then it's unique and just a good little. And I could like not haul like a bunch of stuff in it, but like at least has like a little bit of a bed.
And for you guys, since this isn't a visual podcast, it looks like one of those trucks you take on safari
Yeah,
out in
sure.
In the Sahara.
in this, the Serengeti.
Serengeti
is
is
what
like
I'm
the
say.
one.
Probably not the Sahara, but the
I'm
Serengeti.
sure most of our listeners have Google.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sure they do, but I'm trying to paint a picture for them. All right.
Hey, I appreciate that.
Yeah. Mine is a easy answer. 1989 Honda Prelude SI 2.0.
Adam, so let's move on from this segment.
So Jim, about 23-ish years ago, about 23-ish years ago, your wife gave birth
to a fine Irish son.
to Seth,
I'm Scottish.
Oh, fine
And then-
Scottish son.
and then 23 years after that, he started a podcast, which is why you're here.
Yeah.
Well, I also want to make this clear. He's already been on one podcast that I've done.
Oh yeah,
He was on
yeah.
interviews from my hometown.
Yeah, which you don't talk about.
No, we can talk about it. I love that podcast.
Yeah, and I
dropped
was
my phone.
expecting more of an interview tonight, but I'm cool with this.
No, like it's gonna be kind of like that.
Okay.
So let's start from the big. What kind of baby was Seth?
Seth has always been a great kid, pretty easy baby. Actually, when he was really young, say before a year, that first year, he wouldn't sleep,
That hasn't changed.
which caused a little bit of an issue because his mom and I both like to sleep, and
Okay.
he didn't like to sleep, so
Gotcha.
we compromised and none of us slept. But we used to put him, you could hang him on a vacuum cleaner. I know it sounds weird.
What?
You'd start the vacuum cleaner and sit him on top of the vacuum cleaner, and it was going, and then he would fall asleep. He also fell asleep to, this is kind of weird, I know, but we would play George Michael. I'm serious. George Michael, he loved that. For some reason, that put him to sleep.
My mom showed me that, like, one of the 2 albums that you guys had of George Michael that you played for me. That would put me to sleep now, even. It's hard to listen to.
Gotta
Do you
have
think
faith.
if I put you on a vacuum, you go to sleep?
Yeah.
I might.
Now?
So it was weird.
I mean, it makes sense. When my dad said when I was little, he'd put me on his knee and scratch my back, and that put me to sleep, and that scratching my back can still put me
You've
to sleep.
also said that if you held me, I fell asleep. But as soon as you let go of me,
Yeah, we did car rides. Car rides were good too. You know what? And the other thing that was really weird about Seth when he was a little baby is he ate absolutely everything, and now he doesn't eat anything.
Yeah, just Taco Bell.
Right? So
not so much anymore.
no, but he was a really good kid, all through his life. So can't complain.
Kind of
Kind of lucked out a little bit.
I got in a little bit of trouble every now and then.
Do we want to bring that up?
No, not really.
Maybe later. So how do I phrase this question? Like you personally, like, was Seth like kind of a surprise, or were you guys like trying, or
Totally planned.
totally planned? Cool.
Totally planned.
So how did you feel when you found out they were gonna be like a dad?
Oh, I was ecstatic.
Yeah.
I was ecstatic, yeah. And so the story goes, if you guys want to hear it.
Absolutely.
So Chris found out. Chris is my wife, by the way.
My mom.
Seth's mom, right? And she found out I was playing softball, slow pitch softball, and I was getting ready to go hit, and so I was on deck circle. I was behind the fence. Anyway, she came running from the parking lot, screaming and yelling. And I'm like, oh my goodness, someone died or something happened. And she came running and said, pregnant, or you're gonna be a dad or something like that. And so we embraced and hugged, and it was all happy. And then someone asked, hey, it's your turn to hit. Are you going to hit? So that was kind of the story.
Did you hit?
I did hit, and I think I got a hit.
There you go.
Yeah.
I used to work with a friend of my mom and dad. Her name's Misty. And she told me her side of the story because she was there, too. Mm-hmm. And she was saying, man, where's Chris at? Isn't she like expecting soon, or like aren't they trying to have a kid or something? And then here goes my mom. Rah!
Yeah, it was odd. It was odd, but it was kind of cool.
That's awesome.
I mean, you don't see that. I mean, you guys are both going to be parents one day.
I hope so. Yeah.
Right.
God willing.
Right, and the river don't rise. And so. I think it's the creek don't rise, isn't it?
Yeah,
I don't know. I've never heard that.
God willing and the creek don't rise?
Yeah, creek don't rise, not river don't rise.
The river. Anyway. So you guys will find out. I mean, it's pretty exciting when you find out for sure. And then you got the 9 months of craziness after that.
What was the craziest part of, like, my mom being pregnant?
She was about 7 or 8 months pregnant, and she said, I want mashed potatoes from Kentucky Fried Chicken. And I said, I'm on it. I'm gone. I go down to Kentucky Fried Chicken, and they said, we're out of potatoes. And I think they were out of chicken as well. And I'm like, how can you guys, this is Kentucky Fried Chicken. This is the best you guys can do. You're out of chicken and mashed potatoes.
That's why they're B tier.
Yeah. We ranked fast food places last week.
Okay. What's number one?
Chick-fil-A.
Chick-fil-A was the best rated.
Oh, come on. Yeah, what's number two?
We're a Christian podcast. We have to.
What was number 2?
I'm pulling it up. Quiznos.
Fast food?
Yeah.
We're moving on.
Okay.
What's your favorite fast food place?
Taco Time.
Oh,
that's a solid choice.
We didn't rank Taco Time.
It's solid. I'd give it like an A.
Yeah,
it's super healthy.
It's pretty healthy.
Especially ones that went at you. They're super clean.
Yeah. All right.
Anyways.
So moving on. What else you guys got?
So
let's dig deeper.
When Seth became more of like a toddler, he's getting a little bit older. Did he have any like weird habits or proclivities? Getting in trouble?
No, like he never got in trouble. I'm telling you, this was a pretty good kid. He didn't really do anything weird either. He used to. Okay, here's a story. So he used to Hot Wheels was his big thing. Right?
Everyone's about to learn why it's called staring at Hot Wheels.
He loved the Hot Wheels. He had like 8,000 of them. Right?
Hasn't changed.
And in our old house, he'd line them up down this one hallway. It was pretty long. He'd line them up, from one end to the other, single file. And then he'd run to the bathroom, and I'd go up and switch some of the cars around, turn them the other way, or take them out, or do whatever. And he'd come back, and he knew automatically that they were changed, and would just start yelling, "Hey, you touched my Hot Wheels here!"
And you'd just be chuckling around the corners.
Because we knew what was going to happen. But no, he wasn't. He wasn't real weird. Never got in trouble. So that's pretty boring. We can't. Yeah, we need to move on from that because there's no stories.
My mom might be a better one for stories as a toddler from me because my dad worked.
Oh, gotcha.
the whole time.
Well,
And
Seth.
he's worked at the same place my whole life too.
All right. Well, Seth, you know your dad better than I do.
Okay.
So maybe you hit him with a question that'll spark something up.
Yeah. What was your thinking when, like, the naming process for me?
Okay, so this is really interesting. I mean, I think it's interesting. These people won't. So when we were going to name Seth, we had some rules when we were picking names. So my name's Jim and her name's Chris. So it couldn't start with a J or a C.
That's fair.
Right? We wanted a name that couldn't be shortened. So it was a one syllable name, right? It couldn't start with a G either because our last name's Gamble.
Mm-hmm.
And it had to be so that the initials, including the middle name, meant something cool.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
So my initials are SRG.
Sarge.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it made it a lot harder because you're looking through this name book and there's 8 gazillion names in there. And you're trying to find just that one that fits all these rules. I think his name was... Chris wanted his name to be... Joel.
For a while.
But we couldn't do the J, right? So Joel was out the door.
You came up with Hoyt?
Hoyt, yeah.
Horrible name.
No, I think there was...
You had Take, too.
Oh, take Ellen Gamble, right?
Okay. Tag.
So
Tag.
Well, Tag was cool, and then Take a Gamble.
When you spell it out.
I love that.
I thought it was awesome, and I argued it for a while, but I lost every time.
Dang.
So I thought it was cool.
Well, so I know that if I would have been a girl, my name would have been Skyana Pearl Gamble.
Sky. Yeah, I think we kind of agreed on that one. It was going to be Sky.
So I was going to be an
guess.
S name no matter what.
Now the Pearl part, I don't know. We would have probably fought that one for a while, but Sky for sure.
I was almost Jacob, and I'm really glad that I wasn't because I don't think I've ever met a good Jacob.
I've met one.
One.
That's it. I've met a lot of Jacobs too.
Do you guys believe in like cursed names? Like I've never met a good blank.
Yeah.
Yeah. For me, it would be Jacob or like Brian. I've never met a good Brian.
I know some good Brians. So what'd you just say?
Like
cursed
a
name?
cursed name. Like I've never met.
Oh, not like a curse word, but a cursed name.
Cursed name. Like
Okay,
I've never met a
I
good
gotcha.
so and so.
Wow, I'd have to think about that, but yeah, I don't know. Dawn. Have you guys ever met a good Dawn?
Don Larson.
Have you ever met a good Dawn?
Yeah, I just said who it was.
Dawn, if you listen to this, I'm sorry.
Man, I can't think of anything.
You just love everyone, Seth.
Yeah, I just like everyone, I think. And I grew up with you, and your like catchphrase is "people suck." So
My people don't suck. Other people suck.
you say,
Right?
you said the collective of people, most people in your mind suck.
They have a tendency to lean towards sucking. Yes. And part of that is just because my bar's up here. Right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
For you people that can't see that, I'm holding my hand way up in the air, right? So my bar's up here. I want people to meet that bar.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you're not meeting the bar, then you're sucking.
What a great philosophy.
I'm
I love it.
Right?
I'm just gonna throw it out here before we get to your next question, Adam.
Okay.
I want to thank every one of you from the listening audience. The last podcast episode we've had was the most listened to podcast episode.
How many did we get?
all of Hometown Productions history. We have 150 listens on last
Really?
week's episode.
Wow.
Yeah.
150?
Congrats.
We jumped up, dude.
Yeah, we jumped up from 30 to 150.
Guys, thank you so much.
So thank you guys a lot for that.
That's awesome.
That's really good for us.
Yeah, we got to make one of those like cringy videos where we're like,
No,
hey
I'm not
guys,
doing
thank you
it.
for 150
I
listens.
like it. You guys are exploded.
Yeah, we have.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Yeah,
Bottom
thank
of
you
my
guys.
heart. I really
Is that
appreciate the
way you
listens.
describe it? Exploded.
And people don't usually listen to a podcast twice. So it's probably
It's probably a
100,
one-time listen.
150-ish people.
All right.
It's awesome.
Anyways,
Did you ever like how was Seth in like school?
I gotta be honest. Seth,
Again, he's
wasn't the best student.
I wasn't. I'll agree with him. It wasn't until my senior year that I really kind of started doing better.
So Seth, excuse me, Seth, when he was in his teens, his formative years, we like to call them, we tried a lot of different things like sports and stuff. He honestly wasn't very good at sports either, but he loved being part of a group. Right?
Okay.
That was his big thing, and he was a good teammate that way, good classmate that way. That he just loved being part of it. He loved being part of that group, whatever group it was. And so I think that made him, that kind of made him better or okay in whatever he was doing, just because of that.
Yeah. So I know from like my parents' like style of parenting, like if my grades, and for context, my brother is like an actual genius ish. He's an aerospace engineer now, like wicked smart. Like he knew his shapes and colors in preschool. So like the bar was pretty high, right? And so like
He's your older brother?
my older brother, yeah.
Okay.
So mom, dad, if you're listening, I love you. Like if I had bad grades, I would like lose privileges. Like they'd like take my Xbox away or like something like that. Like what are your thoughts on that as a father? Like were you similar or?
No, I don't think we weren't punitive at all.
Okay.
That obviously you want your child to do the best they can, and you want them to do well. But we also understood that he was trying his hardest. So, for what it's worth.
I will say, now that I'm out of school and you can't punish me anymore because I'm married, like I really did try in a lot of my classes. The only class I didn't try in was my Spanish class, my like 9th grade year of high school.
Right.
That was a tough class.
Yeah, and it was weird because, like, for me, high school was really easy, and I honestly didn't work that hard. And I think I had like a 3.4 GPA, so it wasn't great, but it was decent. And I didn't work that hard. I think Seth's mom struggled a little bit more and had to work a lot harder. So she understood what he was going through more than I did. So that's why he has a better relationship with her, or is closer to her than me, because to me I was like, you're just not trying because it's easy, right? And in retrospect, as I look back, I'm like, okay, it's not easy for everyone, right?
Sure.
So
as I know you keep saying that Seth was a really good kid, you didn't really have like any problems, but like as a father, how did you resolve like conflict as a father to a son? Like what was your approach to it?
It was normally really calm. I hopefully Seth agrees with that. I can think of maybe a couple times where
I can think of 2 times.
Yeah, I got some heated, and can't even remember the situation, but where I was fairly upset.
So honestly, my dad wasn't the one who was disciplining you normally. He was the one that was going between my mom and me and being like, "All right, what'd you do? You gotta give me something so I can help out your case here."
Right.
It was my mom that was doing a lot of the disciplining.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, I tried to protect him because most of the time I felt like it probably wasn't that big a deal, and his mom has a tendency to overreact. Maybe that's the best word. So I understood that because she's overreacted with me, like on numerous occasions. So I'm used to it, and I just had to try to protect him as much as possible.
Chris, if you're listening, go easy on him.
No,
It's over now.
No, she realizes it.
I have a curious question, and our listening audience won't really know what we're talking about, but I want to hear it from you.
That always makes it interesting for him.
There's one guy that's super interested that keeps getting offended. He's like,
Yeah.
I am interested.
What was your perspective as someone who got injured during your guys' boat trip in Hawaii? What was your perspective of watching the chaos that unfolded?
So we probably should explain the
Yeah.
situation. So this was 6 years ago, I guess, and a bunch of us went to Hawaii for Chris and I's 20th anniversary, and we went on a boat trip that was it was like Gilligan's Island. It was this boat was a little bit rough, and we were on a 3-hour tour.
There were, 20 of us?
Yeah, something like that. So
On a catamaran.
yeah, and
Oh.
so the water was a little rough. So there was a couple people, including Seth, that were sick. I jumped in the water at one point when we stopped, and tried to I was getting back up on the ladder, and the boat moved from the waves. Imagine that in the ocean, and I dislocated my shoulder.
Oh.
So we're out on the water, and you can't do much. You just got to try to put it back in. Luckily, we had a nurse that was on the ship, and she helped do that.
A family member.
Yeah. But at the same time, one of the older members of the group with us was out in the water, and he was starting to float away. And so we had one friend that he was trying to decide, should I help Jim or no, go get Hugh, if you're listening. Go get Hugh. He's floating away from the ship, and we
Poor
need to
Hugh.
get him back in. Yeah. So it was crazy for about 15 minutes.
There was one moment, and it was like right after my dad's shoulder got put back in, where my grandma, the stroke victim, like had a stroke maybe 3 years before that. Does that sound about right?
Yeah, I think so.
She's like taking off her like cover that she was wearing, and she goes, "I think I'm gonna jump in." And my mom and I are both like, "No, you're not jumping in. You just saw Hugh float away from us."
Yeah, the whole thing was comical when you look back on it.
At the time,
it was wow. I don't know if we should have done this or not. So,
and then I can't remember exactly what time it was. It was late at night going in like the next day, where my family, my mom, dad, and a few of their friends decided, let's go to IHOP. It's like a 2-mile walk
Oh, wow.
to the nearest IHOP. It must have been like 1 a.m., I think. And
it didn't turn out well, Adam.
Okay.
it's the worst
There
IHOP
were-
experience.
you understand that there was a full day of imbibing,
Imbibing?
drinking,
Oh,
Okay.
and then the shoulder, then food, and so I ultimately got very, very sick in a Airbnb carpet.
I don't remember that. I think I was
It
asleep.
didn't work out well, but hey, the whole trip was good though.
Yeah.
So, and kudos to Maui and Lahaina. Hopefully, they recover from their terrible tragedy.
Yeah. I want to do something that we haven't done yet.
Do you guys like to sing?
I no.
Kind of. Why?
Okay, I thought maybe we'd try a 3-piece harmony.
Hey, Jim. Thanks for being on. No.
Okay.
I want to throw it out. Do you have any questions for us?
Sure. I got a lot of questions for you guys.
Perfect.
So how old are you guys?
I'm 23.
I'm 27.
23 and 27. Okay, so you were born 2001 and 2000 or
97.
97, right?
Yep.
Okay. What was your favorite cartoon growing up?
SpongeBob.
Favorite cartoon.
I'm talking to Adam right now.
Are we talking like little kid cartoons?
Cartoon.
Probably like Blue's Clues.
That's solid.
Solid.
That's
yeah.
always a good one. Do you ever watch 64 Zoo Lane?
No.
Because that one's a great one. So you went to school. When did you graduate, Adam?
2015.
2015. So before COVID.
Yes. 5 years before COVID.
So you were still in the time where everything was cool.
Yep.
You guys understand that. So you think of certain things that happen in history, right?
Sure.
We had 9/11 in 2001, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that
Never
changed
forget.
a lot of the way we do a lot of things, right? COVID in 2018, 2019, whatever it was.
2020.
2020. That changed the way we do a lot of things, right?
Sure.
So pre-COVID, what was school like for you? Were you good in school?
No. I absolutely hated school. Middle school was super rough for me, like grade wise. High school, in my opinion, was actually easier than middle school was. They diagnosed me with ADD, which is attention deficit disorder. I kind of describe it as I only paid attention or was able to pay attention to what interested me. And that was more like history and English. And so in science and math, I suffered. And so for all 4 years of high school, I was actually in like a remedial math class. I never made it past pre-algebra. So
Were you social in high school or middle school, high school?
not really. I wouldn't say I hung out with like a bad crowd. I would say I hung out with the kids that people didn't want to hang out with. I was also, I wouldn't say like bad because people had it a lot worse than I did, but I experienced my fair share of bullying.
Okay. Yeah, and that sucks for everybody out there. Don't bully.
Yeah, bullies suck.
Just saying, it's not good. It's not cool. So you're married,
I am married.
right? And just not too long ago, right?
May 4th.
Right. So, did you have other girlfriends before you got married?
Yeah. So, dipping a little bit into my testimony, right? My parents, I grew up in Moses Lake, so I didn't grow up here. And my dad worked, I don't know if you know Genie. They make the man lifts.
I
The
think
blue,
I've heard
the
the
construction
name, yeah.
equipment. Yeah.
Okay.
So that's where my dad worked for a long time, and Genie is owned by Terex. And like right after I graduated, I think it was like 2016, 2017. Like my dad got an offer to move to Oklahoma because they have a Terex plant down there. And they were like, you can come with us or you can't, and I was like, I have like some friends here.
Yeah.
Yada yada. So I stayed in Moses Lake and I was working at Genie, and all that. But
And how old were you then?
20?
1920.
Okay.
I should tell you my John story after this is over to lighten the mood because you never heard it before.
So you graduated as a chief.
Yes.
Okay. And you graduated as a Wildcat.
Wildcat.
Right.
Louismont.
Okay. Yeah, easy. There, Slicky. So what brought you to Wenatchee from Moses Lake?
God did.
Okay.
Yeah, so I got saved in high school. In youth group there was where I first accepted Jesus as my Lord and Savior and all that. And I was immediately hooked, like I never experienced that like power, that grace, that forgiveness for what I thought. Cause like when you're not a believer, you don't think you're doing anything wrong, right? But then like it kind of opens your eyes to that. And so I was hooked. And like as I got more and more into it, I like saw life in ministry. And so I was interning and doing all that stuff. But then me and my church had like a kind of like a falling out because of me and my best friend at the time kind of had a fight and stopped being friends and stuff. And it was a smaller church, and they like didn't want to look at the problem. They just wanted us to make up and be friends again. It's a whole thing. Anyways. But so after high school, I kind of fell out of the church and started like getting into some things I shouldn't have been getting into, just making bad decisions. And then my parents moved away. And so I was like, I would never have admitted it then, but I was really lonely. And then my roommate wasn't the best kind of person that I was living with. And so kind of like my pillar. And I fell away from the church too because I couldn't really find a church that I connected with. And so eventually like my pillar became like women, and like being with women and like getting the attention and love that I needed from like a relationship setting, if that makes sense.
Sure. Yeah. So yeah, and thankfully you found God and moved that direction. I think both of you guys are testimony to that, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's good.
But then I met this girl on a dating app that lived here, and she was a Christian. I'm putting that in quotes, but
those are the quote signs if you didn't see it.
But long story short, she wanted. I hadn't been to church in a real long time, and she wanted to try out Sage Hill's Easter service, and I think
all the Easter services,
2021,
right?
2021, I think it was.
That was a good one.
Is that the one they did at Town Toyota? Was that 21?
No, that wasn't 21.
No, that was 2019. 2019.
Okay.
It was the year I graduated.
Needless to say, like Sage Hills was like everything I was looking for in a church. Like I remember when I walked in and I was like, it was so big, and I got saved in like a pretty small church. It was so big, and so I was kind of doing the whole like, why is it so big? It doesn't need to be this big. And then it was explained to me that it's like more like a community center for like stuff to happen in and like further the gospel and like yada yada hoopla. We can get to that some other time. But like needless to say, I went into service and like I fell in love, and like I fell so much in love with this church, and like I encountered God again, obviously so the church wasn't all it, but like I loved it so much that I was driving up from Moses Lake every Sunday to go to Sage.
Wow. Yeah, so Sage Hills, I mean, I'm going to tell a story for you people, but because Sage Hills is great. If you guys haven't been there, you should check it out. But I grew up across the street, my best friend, from the time I was 6. His dad was a pastor at Eastmont Baptist.
Okay. Yeah, that's where Aaron Davis's dad goes. His dad's a bishop there.
Growing up, my parents were not religious at all, right? But I wanted to be around my friends, so I did a lot of summer Bible schools, Bible studies. They had a thing called Awana. I don't know if they still have Awana.
Yeah, they still have Awana for sure.
Which is like a Thursday night, and you go play a lot of games, but you have a time to worship and connect with God. And so that was kind of my introduction to it. And so, and then kind of after growing up, I wasn't really involved. I think, I could honestly say from the time I was, 15 till I was 30, maybe, I went to a couple Christmas services. But so Seth got involved.
I was 14.
At Sage Hills, and it had to do with some friends of ours that we have that have kids that I won't name here, but you guys all know. They all went to Sage Hills, and so Seth got involved with the youth group there. And I think we went to, the first time I went to Sage Hills was for a baptism, and it was one of these kids of friends of ours. And I went in, and I couldn't believe it. It was amazing because it's like half worship, half rock show or something. It's the way I described it. And so the worship music at the first is amazing. Pastor Mike is amazing. He's dynamic. He's entertaining. It was like nothing I'd ever seen before, having gone to Eastmont Baptist as a kid, where it's way, I don't know the difference, and I can't explain it, but it's way more serious and
I can't explain it, and it would take a long time.
So we're gonna skip that. But anyway, I'm glad that you guys go to Sage. I think Sage Hills is amazing. We don't go on a regular basis. What do they call us? CEOs or whatever?
Christer people.
No,
it's the
Christmas
Christmas,
people.
Easter,
Christmas
only.
people said.
Christmas, Easter only. I think
You go to
CEOs.
Easter?
Yeah, Christmas, Easter only.
Oh, okay.
So
CEOs.
CEOs, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
So and we used to go more often. I think that Chris actually listens to the online.
Yeah, she listens. From what I hear, she listens to every Monday.
Anyway, let's move on from that. But Sage Hills, if you guys have not been there and you're looking for a place to go,
She's better plugged than we are.
it's amazing. So you check it out. All right.
Yeah, hit me.
Oh, am I still? I'm
yeah,
still
you're still
on.
going. Yeah, keep going for a little bit.
I didn't.
You got time.
Boy, what I asked? I asked how old you guys were.
Yeah.
Yes,
Somehow we got into
I
girlfriends.
asked what brought you to girlfriends and what brought you to Wenatchee. What do you guys like about Wenatchee?
Yeah, I think I got an answer straight away. So
My brain jumps to what I don't like.
okay.
But I'll think of something.
Okay, well, why don't we hold that? Seth, you tell us what you like, and then we'll.
Community.
Okay.
Community here is fantastic. Obviously, I've met some of my best friends here, and then like looking at like the theater people and the kind of the more, what's the right word, like just the everyday people that you go and meet like at like a pub or something like that is just really good people here in Wenatchee.
Okay. And Adam, let's change the question a little bit for you. What would you change about Wenatchee?
The drivers. I would really look into our driving schools and make sure they know what they're doing, because it's not okay. I got cut off on the way here. This lady like careened over a solid white line into my lane, and yeah,
This goes
probably,
back to the original.
It's probably the first thing I noticed.
The original comment that most people are dumb, but anyway.
Yeah. I will agree with Seth though. Coming from Moses Lake, the culture here is a lot better. It's also, like, I know it might be hard to believe, but it's a lot safer here than it is in Moses Lake, in my opinion. Because there's like maybe probably one bad neighborhood in Wenatchee. There's a handful in Moses Lake, and like in Moses Lake, there's places like you don't go, like at all, like if you want to walk out of there.
And I think that's probably, unfortunately, that's the case in a lot of communities now, even smaller communities. I think there are some bad people that have moved. Washington State's pretty cool in general, and this area in particular is really, really nice, as we all know, or at least I think so. And so it draws people here, and along with the good comes the bad, right?
Mm-hmm.
So,
Did you grow up here?
I grew up here. Yeah, I was born here and grew up here. I moved away when after college. Moved to Vancouver, Washington. That's where I got my first job. Was there for only a year. Moved back here, and then moved away to the Seattle area for a couple of years after that, and then came back, obviously. And there's a, I mean, at least for me, there's a familiarity here that's enticing, and I like the weather, other than winter. For the record, I'm not a big winter guy, but I don't want to move to Phoenix or whatever because it's too hot. More than likely, so. Anyway, okay. So am I up on? I have more questions, or am I?
You could probably have time for like one more.
One or two, yeah.
One or two.
One more question. Okay. So, what's your favorite restaurant in Wenatchee?
Fire pizza.
Fire pizza. Okay.
Yeah, I like that before I even moved here. Like we would come up here to go to Costco and go shopping and stuff when I was younger, and we would always stop by.
I thought you were going to say I liked it before I even knew what it was.
Yeah, I mean it's that good. I could have. It transcends space and time.
Okay, so I'm going to expand on this now that you said that. So you like the pizza there?
Mm-hmm.
So do you like King's Pizza? Have you been to King's Pizza?
I have, and hot take. It's good, but I don't think it's like that good.
Have you been to Mama Tina's Pizza?
I have. I've had Mama Tina's, and that's good. I would.
It's really good.
I think as a pizza fan, I'm more of a Neapolitan type of guy, like the smaller, like thinner crust.
What about McGlynn's?
McGlynn's is pretty good too.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I think we're very lucky. I'm just going to say this right quick. Very lucky. When I was growing up, for the longest time, we only had Abby's, right?
Okay.
And Abby's is good. Don't get me wrong. For you Abby's fans out there, it's really good. But when that's your only choice, it wears on you. So we have a lot of good choices now.
Mm-hmm.
So, Seth?
There's an El Salvadorian place downtown.
We still need to go to that, dude.
Yeah, it's the best restaurant in town.
They serve cat.
Cat?
Yeah.
Why would they serve cat?
I don't know. I'm just asking if they do.
No.
Oh, I have a story. You know Carl, my coworker?
Yeah.
So at SAHW, how facilities team is structured, it's Aaron Davis and it's me. We're the only full-time guys. And then we have 3 part-time guys. And one of those part-time guys is Carl. He's 60 years old, and he's the most hilarious man I've ever met in my life. And so we went to Sumo for like a work lunch like last week or so. And Carl is a very down-to-earth, like pure-blooded American guy, right? And so we're like, we're going to go to Sumo Sushi. And he's like, I ain't never been there. I don't know what I'm doing. And so Aaron is like...
Is that the way he talks?
Yes.
Yeah,
my
pretty close, actually.
My boss, Aaron, is like helping him through the menu like a mom would, like a child. He's like, oh, this is the fried rice, and then this is this, and this is this. I love you, Carl. And so he gets like a combo plate or whatever, and he gets some steak on it, and like he like eats some, and he goes, nom, nom, nom. You know, is this cat? Like, Carl, you can't say that. You can't say that, Carl.
You can. You got to ask that question once in a while. All right, I got one more question for you guys, and this is, and then I'm done. Well, I'm done asking questions.
You asked the question. I have one question for you to end us off.
That'd be a good follow-up. So this is your Miss America question, right? Are you ready?
I'm ready.
So this is gonna be deep.
I'm a beautiful 6-foot woman.
Okay.
I'm channeling
For
that
you
right
guys
now.
that can't see, he's not. But so if you could change one thing in this world, what would it be? One thing. Oh man, you see the smoke coming out of their ears right now. Boom.
That's actually pretty easy. I want as many people to know Jesus Christ as their personal Lord and Savior as physically possible.
Okay. So change it from whatever it is now.
I think there's like
50% to.
there's like a stigma with Christians, I think, and like sometimes like we get so much caught up in like denominations and like policies and politics and everything. I just think we need to get back to the reason that we're here, which is to spread the gospel and spread the love of God so that people can experience eternal life with the God that gave his own so that we could live.
Agreed. Okay.
So I have two answers. One is a silly, funny answer. I'm gonna say that one last, and then I'm gonna give a serious answer first.
Okay.
I wish, like, just so we have a more like conjoined world, I wish our politics were less divided, like across the board. Just so like we agree more as a world. That way we're treating the world better. And I wish cowboy hats were more accepted in today's society.
It all depends on where you live.
I wish cowboy hats were more accepted in Wenatchee Valley.
I think.
Why
we're pretty
don't you
accepted.
start a revolution?
I wear a cowboy hat all the time.
Perfect. Let's
You
do
got to
it.
get me one though.
Okay, I can get you one.
I think if the two of you started, that you tell two friends.
Yeah, dude,
and
we're
they
pretty
would do
cool.
it, and then they tell
We're
two
not a
friends.
pyramid scheme.
We're pretty cool, Seth. If we wear cowboy hats, everyone will.
Exactly.
You
I like that thing.
Hey, don't sell yourself short. You guys are really cool.
Aw,
Aw,
Jim.
thanks. Hey, Adam.
No, I got
you have
I got
your
one
question.
last question
Oh,
for,
okay.
for Jim to end us
One
off.
last
All right.
question. And then,
So, you're to our 150-ish listeners, Jim.
yo, shout out to you guys.
So, as a father, what advice would you give to other fathers
Or soon to be father.
or soon to be fathers of the world? If you had to tell them
Interesting.
one thing.
Interesting. Love your kids, first of all, right? Regardless of what they do or what they believe, or guide them. Because remember, the children are our future. Teach them well
Is that a song?
and let them. No, I don't know. Anyway, but I would say, above all else, enjoy it because it goes fast. And everybody always tells you that, and you're always like, yeah, whatever. It goes incredibly fast. So that would be my one, I guess, advice to any prospective parents, dads, moms, either way.
Awesome.
Is enjoy it while you have it.
And also, you seem to be like the type of person, like, you haven't aged that much. Like, looking at photos from you when you like first married my mom to now, like, you haven't aged that much. You look really good for your age.
I appreciate that. So.
Comparing you to some of the people you graduated with.
Oh, for the class of 86, he doesn't mean that.
Some of them.
Seth has the class of '86 is gonna have beef with you now, Seth.
They already have beef.
You gotta watch your back.
No, I appreciate that, and part of that, I will give credit to my lovely wife, who treats me very well and doesn't cause me much grief, so that helps out. And that's the secret to it too, right? You know, if I'm getting a little philosophical here, you know, if you have children that are well behaved and you've taught them the right way and they're well behaved, and you have a spouse that believes in the same things you do, and you go down the same path, man, I'll tell you, the stress in your life is a lot less, and that I think that's what ages you. I mean, certainly work has something to do with it. I've been fortunate to work the same place for 26 years, almost 27 years, and I've done some different jobs, but I've always enjoyed them. This current job's a challenge for me, but I still enjoy it, so I still like to go to work every day, and that's another secret too. So, and I'm just handing out secrets left and right.
Yeah, that's all right. I need more of them.
Probably.
Anyways, Seth, should I end us in our
Yeah, I think you have some words for us.
a little encouraging word to end us off? You know,
Perfect.
you know, guys. You know, we've been talking a lot about dads this podcast. You know, specifically fathers. You know, but there's one father that, you know, is above all other things, you know, and that's the Father, God, you know, Father God. And by God, I mean our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ.
Amen.
Amen.
All right. Well, thanks for being on the podcast,
Yeah,
Jim.
thank
We
you.
really
Thank you
appreciate
guys
it
for
on such
having
short
me. I
notice.
appreciate it.
Yeah. All
Very
right.
good episode.
Tune in
We
next
didn't get
time.
to sing though.
Nope.
No.
Yeah, maybe next time.
Don't do it. Yeah, but thank you
I
guys for listening.
believe the children are our future.
Anyway, yeah, thank
Yeah.
you guys for listening.
Tune
My
in.
name has been Seth.
I'm Adam. Tune in next time for the Staring at Hot Wheels Halloween special, probably.
Cool.
It's October. Yeah.
Peace out.
All right. Bye, guys.
Bye. Love you.